Hi there, my name is Lesley Stewart, and I am here to offer you a two-part tutorial on how you can teach your child to read at home. The first part of the tutorial will include a step-by-step process where you can teach your child to read. It's super easy and simple. Curriculum, and one of the unique programs that we have at Perry School, and a lot of parents have asked me, now that you're at home with your child, you might be looking for a lot of educational activities, hands-on activities that you could do with your child. So I decided that I was going to share with you the reading program that we do at the school, where all of the children, even the toddlers and babies, learn how to read at the school. And it's very easy, it's very fun, and the kids love it, and I'm sure the parents, once you get into it, the teachers love it at the school. So I can only imagine that you would also love doing it with your child when you see them catching these words so quickly and giving them truly the gift and the joy of learning to read that lasts essentially a lifetime. So let's give it a whirl, okay? Okay, so when you are actually writing the words, the way you're writing the words is very important. So once again, we're going to use preferably a very thick red marker. This one is a Sharpie, and that's the best choice. If you do not have this, then you can use any red marker in your house and try to thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to show you some examples of how, this is an example of a really nicely written word for our word program, pair. And the reason it's fantastic is because you can see that it's evenly spaced out. The letters are very, very clear. You can see even the E, it has a straight, straight across and around. There aren't any tails. There's no curls or twirls on it. It looks like you would see this in a book. So what you can do at home, if you're having a little trouble with that, you can actually go on your computer, pick up a font like Arial, something like that, and see how they're writing those fonts, and that can give you a little bit of a guideline as how to do that. I'm going to show you. So this is pair. That's great. This one's done beautifully. A child's going to see that. It's very clear. No mystery, no confusion. This is also really well done, fish. And this is another one that's really clear. You can see it, mango. Okay, now I'm going to show you an example of something that's not so great. This is parallelogram. And this is not so great because the letters are too squished. The A is confusing. It's attached to the M. And the E is kind of just, it's not clear enough. It's kind of soft there. And again, this would not be a good choice and would create confusion for your child. When you are doing larger words, you have to be careful with the spacing. So you might need a slightly smaller writing, or you pick maybe some larger cards or paper that you're using, okay? I think something really important to express is that the reading program is supposed to instill the joy of learning. That's the bottom line. So we are not going to be drilling or grilling or testing young children. That would really put a damper on their experience of learning to read. So that's what I really just want to express from the get-go. One of the things that also is really important is that your child, the reading program actually is customized to your child. So what I mean by that is that pick words that your child loves. They can actually be even instrumental in picking the word list. You know what your child loves. Maybe it could be anything from their favorite foods, their favorite animals, their favorite characters, their favorite colors, and really start there, because that actually will really ignite your child and get them very, very excited about learning to read. One other thing to keep in mind when you're choosing the words, you're probably more familiar with choosing words that are very short. I know that in phonics you see that quite often. You'll see, especially with beginner readers, you'll see cat and bat and sat. Those are the types of words, three-letter words that are either rhyming. But what happens with that, first of all, it becomes very boring. With the whole word program, because we're not sounding out the word, the children are looking at the entire word together, again, like it's a face or a logo. That means that the children do not have to be strictly stuck with short words that rhyme like cat and bat. Another thing I wanted to mention to you that's really important is not to get too caught up in teaching the letters. And also, if you're giving your child the words, some of the more traditional approaches, for example, if they're trying to if a teacher or parent is trying to teach mango, they might say mango. I would really steer away from that, because what happens then is that the child is going to know to look for the M, and then they're going to remember, if they just see the M, that that's the word mango, and they're not going to look at the rest of the word. And that is actually, they're not really learning how to read. They're just finding the first letter and then they're guessing. So try to stay away from sounding out the word at all. I'm going to show you in a demonstration how to do it. Instead, you just say it clearly and no sounding out. And you can actually, even in the beginning, stay away from drilling letters, because that actually can hold back from the reading program. You can actually delve into those at a later date. Okay? The next question that you might have is how many words to choose. I'm going to explain it very clearly how to do this. On day 1 of your program, you would pick just words that your child loves. So for example, right now, I decided that I was going to go a little more with categories, just because I'm doing it for this tutorial purpose. But for you, it would be your child's first 5 favorite words. That's how you would get started. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to show you what I did. So I picked animals. Children love animals. I know they do. And at the school, in the classrooms, we customize the words more to each classroom. But when you're doing it on an individual basis, you can really customize it for your child. And I know that they're going to light up. So definitely try that. All right, so let's pretend that this is the first day of your reading program. And like I said earlier, I think it's best for you to start off with your child's first favorite words, whatever that may be. And that's a wonderful way to get started, and keep it on that tone going forward for as long as you can. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I decided to go with animals, which I think is something children love. And I use this in the school all the time. The kids love it. I've got dog. I have lion. And as you can see, I use my big red marker, and I'm using index cards. Here's horse. And finally, we have bug. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. This is day 1. So let's pretend it's Monday. Monday would be your first day that you would start, and you would have these 5 words in your program. You need to show the child, your child, I should say, this series of words 3 different times. And I'm going to explain that a little bit better on how to do that, okay? One of the ways that you can do that is by flashing. And I'm going to show you exactly how to flash. Flashing is important, but that's not the only way that you're going to teach your child to read. But the flashing is fun. It's a great way to just, get a couple sets in again, but there's a way to do it that's going to make it a lot more fun for your child. I'm going to show you. So one thing is to get into a space where your child does not have a lot of distractions. A great spot, honestly, is the bathtub, believe it or not. The bathtub is great. They're in the tub. They can have some before they get their toys. You can show the words. It's a wonderful way to do it. So this is how I'm going to recommend. I'm going to give you a demo on how to make it very bright and very colorful, so it's not boring, it doesn't get humdrum for the child, and it actually redirects them and keeps their attention for a lot longer than it would otherwise. So this is the way I do it at the school. Hopefully you can see that, and you will emulate. You will use me as an example. Okay, so this is how we go. First of all, we're going to pretend your child's in the bathtub. Another great spot. I would not recommend doing it while they're eating, quite frankly, because it's just not the best. They're trying to focus on their food and chewing, but you might do it before they eat at the table. That would actually work. So that's another way to approach it. Or in a room at a table, in a chair. A chair is great when they're not around a lot of their toys and a lot of distractions. It should be fairly quiet to start anyway, and then you can kind of alter it as you go along. So what I try to do, I try to use a lot of different inflections in my voice, and we find at Perry School that the children really do focus and redirect themselves using that approach. We do it in all areas of learning. So here we go. All right, so we'll do orange, green, gold, yellow, blue. I wanted to explain to you that the children do not need to stare at the word. As long as they even glance at it just for a second, you're done. Sometimes what I do, if I see that the child is getting a little distracted, I do a few other things that help along the way for them to get refocused. One of the things I do is I tap on the word. So if I notice that one of the children in Perry School, they're not looking at the word, I'll call their name and I'll tap it. And then once they look just like this, they're done and you move on. The quicker that you do the words and the faster that you keep it going and the momentum, that really is important in the success of the program. So the other thing too is sometimes I get very creative because Many times I'll have a whole group of children that I'm trying to, make sure that they're seeing all the words. So I'm making sure that they're looking, and I'll get a little silly at times, but not too much, but I do, and I'll take words up high, I'll take words down low, I'll make silly sounds to try and keep them engaged. So you can do that at home too. All right, so let's pretend it's your first day of your child's reading program that you're going to embark on for the week. And like I said earlier, pick fun words that your child loves. So some of the children at preschool, for example, they love colors, so pick your child's favorite color, pick their favorite food, pick their favorite character, things that are gonna get them very excited about learning. But for this purpose, we are going to do it a little bit just categories, and the first category that I picked was colors. So this is going to be day one. I have 5 words that I'm going to use on day one. I have red, pink, blue, orange, and my last one here is, hold on, green. Okay, perfect. So this is my first day. Now, essentially the way the program works, just pretend it's Monday, and you would show your child these words 3 times. You have 5 words and you show it 3 times during day one. And that would be how that works. Again, I want to explain to you when to do the words. Morning time is fantastic because your child's mind is very bright and they have a lot of energy and ready for learning. You can do it before you go into an activity. So for example, when they come to the breakfast table, show them the words first before they eat. That would be a wonderful way of doing it. I mentioned earlier, you can do it in the bathtub. If you're about to go outside, you're about to get your shoes and your coat on. Just before you do that, you show the words and then you're like, okay, let's go outside and play. That's a great way to do it during transition times, just before you're going to do something, or just when you finish something. That's just when you come in from outside, you take off your coat, you sit down, you do the words, and you're like, okay, let's go play, right? So let's pretend this is your first day of you and your child's reading program. And of course, you're going to have 5 words that your child loves, which would be amazing. But for my purpose, I'm just going to start with colors. And we have, for day one, we're going to have 5 words. So this is day one. And we chose, for the purpose of the tutorial, pink and blue, orange, green, and red. Okay, so here we go. This is our day one. And remember, you've got 5 words on day one, and you can see these words 3 times a day. That would be, for example, on Monday. All right, so now we're gonna go for Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're going to show these words again 3 times, but alongside some new words. And my new words for Tuesday are banana, pear, mango, apple, and peach. All right, so on day 2, you would show your child all 10 words. So you have 10 words now, it's Tuesday, we have 10 words, and you would show all 10 words 3 times a day. That's Tuesday. All right, so let's go for Wednesday. Wednesday, we decided we're going to do some shapes. Okay, so here we go. On day 3, we decided to do some shapes. All right, let's go for it. So we have trapezoid, rectangle, octagon, circle, here comes circle, here we go, here's circle, and hexagon. All right, so now it's Wednesday. These are our 5 new words on Wednesday. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and now a total of 15 words, and all of these words on Wednesday are going to be shown 3 times, okay? All right, so now let's go to Thursday. Thursday's up. All right, so what do we got here? We decided we did 2D shapes, now we're gonna do 3D shapes. So for this purpose, we decided to use cube, sphere, cylinder, cone, and the last one here is cube. All right, so it's Thursday, and your child's really excited still about this reading program, and we have a total of 20 words. So we have 20 words, it's Thursday, and you show all of these words 3 times a day. Okay, now we go to Friday. All right, it's Friday, last day of the week, but we want to get in 5 more words. I chose some fun words. I chose lion for Friday. I'll smush that over a little bit. I chose bug, dog, that's a fun word, dog, kids love dogs, horse, and let's do one more. Hang on. We got one more for Friday. Let's do fish. Amazing. All right, so we've got fish. All right, come back here. Okay, so now we have a total of 25 words, Monday through Friday, and we are going to show all 25 words 3 times a day. Now, I want to say something really super important to the parents here. Don't get too caught up in being a stickler about showing every single word 25 times. I have something really important to tell the parents. It's super important. Remember that this is not drilling and grilling. This is fun. So if you notice that your child is walking away from the cards, drop the cards and pick them up at another time. You kind of have to do a little trial and error with this program, and you have to find out when the good times are for your child to do the program. You want to make sure that you're not doing it when they're tired or when they're hungry or when they're cranky. And it's going to take a little while for you to sort that out. So take it easy. And if for some reason you don't get all of the words in 3 times a day, honestly, don't sweat it. Over time, what's going to happen is, first of all, you're going to have to show the words a lot less over time, just so you know that, because your children, once they see a lot of words, they start picking it up so quickly, like you'd be amazed. That it's very important to keep it very joyful. You want to make sure that you are not correcting your child at any time or making it as sitting and grilling and drilling, if that makes any sense to you. That's the missing the whole purpose of the program, okay? This is the end of part 1. Thanks for tuning in, and tomorrow we will be offering part 2, which will include many interesting and fun activities that will certainly complement your child's reading program. See you then.